You're on a two-lane highway. The sun is dropping behind the trees. Your gas light flickers on. Up ahead, there's a town. And the only advice from the people who live there is two words. Don't stop. That's not a movie setup. That's America. We like to believe danger has an address. Big cities, bad neighborhoods, places with reputations. But what if the most violent places in this country aren't loud? What if they're quiet? What if they look like towns you'd wave at while driving through? Until night falls and the numbers start talking. This isn't surface-level crime stats. This is what happens when small towns crack under pressure. Economic collapse, drug corridors, understaffed police departments, generations of problems stacked neatly behind picket fences. Places where the violent crime rate doesn't just beat the national average, it embarrasses it. And locals don't warn you out of paranoia. They warn you from experience. In this video, we're counting down 10 small U.S. towns so violent that locals warn you not to stop for gas. Not the usual cities everyone name drops. These are towns you've probably never heard of. And that's the problem. Along the way, you'll hear local warnings nobody puts on brochures. See data most rankings ignore. And learn why one of these towns looks safer than Disneyland. Until you check what happens after dark. Think you know where America's most dangerous places really are? Stick around. You're not ready for what's next. Let's break it down. Number 10. Bogalusa, Louisiana. In Bogalusa, the trees whisper, the pavement cracks, and the murder rate makes New Orleans look like Disneyland. Let's get one thing straight. Bogalusa didn't earn its spot with one bad year. This town has staying power. With just under 11,000 residents, it's technically a small town. But when it comes to violence, Bogalusa punches way above its weight. Violent crime here is 3 times the national average. Homicide rates have surged so high in recent years that even international outlets have called it a war zone in disguise. Dozens of shootings in a single year. And that's not a fluke. It's systemic. Gang violence. Turf wars. A police department that's under-resourced, outgunned, and allegedly politically entangled. One local put it this way. We don't call 911 here. We call family. Equal parts charming and terrifying. Bogalusa translates to dark water. And underneath the southern charm, you'll find economic collapse, generational poverty, and a whole lot of people who've given up on outsiders and each other. Number 9. Marksville, Louisiana. Another Louisiana town. Sensing a pattern? Good. Marksville is smaller than Bogalusa, just over 5,000 people. But its violent crime rate per capita rivals cities 20 times its size. The problem here isn't just poverty, though that's real. It's isolation. Marksville sits in a part of the state where police response times can stretch past 20 minutes. 20 minutes is an eternity when things go sideways. And things go sideways often. Aggravated assaults happen weekly. Homicides, while not constant, cluster in ways that keep the whole town on edge. Locals have a quiet rule. You don't walk anywhere after 9. You don't stop at the gas station on the south side after dark. And you definitely don't ask questions about who runs what. The warning here isn't shouted from rooftops. It's whispered at church picnics and passed down like heirlooms. Number 8. Emporia, Virginia. Emporia sits on the border of North Carolina and Virginia. It looks like a postcard. Old brick buildings, a historic downtown, a pace of life that seems gentle. But Emporia has a secret. For years, it's been a major corridor for drug trafficking along Interstate 95. And with drug traffic comes violence. Not the kind you see in movies, car chases and explosions. The quiet kind. The kind that happens in motel rooms and behind boarded-up storefronts. Emporia's violent crime rate is nearly double the state average. Assaults are common. Gun crime has crept up year after year. The police department is small and stretched thin. And locals have a piece of advice for anyone getting off the interstate. Don't. Keep driving. Fill up 20 miles in either direction. Nothing good happens after midnight on Main Street. Number 7. Beckley, West Virginia. Beckley is surrounded by mountains and coal country. And for a while, that coal kept things stable. But the mines have closed. Jobs left. And what's left behind is a slow-burning crisis. Beckley's violent crime rate has climbed steadily over the last decade. Assaults, robberies, and domestic violence all spike far above national averages. But here's what makes Beckley different. The opioid epidemic hit this town like a hurricane that never left. When people are desperate, they do desperate things. Break-ins turn into armed confrontations. Disputes over pills turn into shootings. Locals have a saying, Beckley's fine during the day. But when the sun goes down, the hills get quiet for a reason. That reason is survival. Tourists driving through on their way to the New River Gorge are told to get gas before they hit the city limits. Not because the gas stations are bad, because stopping means becoming visible. Number 6. Gallup, New Mexico. Gallup looks like the edge of the world. High desert, red rocks, a stretch of Route 66, that time forgot. But Gallup has a reputation that locals don't sugarcoat. It's a major hub for drug trafficking between Albuquerque and the Navajo Nation. And that position comes with a body count. Violent crime in Gallup is nearly 4 times the national average. Assault rates are astronomical. Alcohol-related violence is so common that emergency services have dedicated protocols for weekend nights. But here's the part nobody tells you. Gallup is also a border town in a different sense, a border between jurisdictions. Tribal police, city police, county sheriffs, and federal agents all operate in overlapping, confusing zones. Criminals exploit those gaps, and residents have learned that warning signs aren't just helpful. They're necessary. One local business owner put a sign in his window that went viral. Last gas for 50 miles. Also last place you want to break down. He wasn't joking. Number 5. Selma, Alabama. Selma is famous for civil rights history. The Edmund Pettus Bridge. Bloody Sunday. That history matters. But it also overshadows a present that's brutal. Selma's population has fallen below 18,000. Jobs are scarce. Housing stock is crumbling. And the violent crime rate has become stagnant. Per capita, Selma's murder rate often exceeds much larger cities like Birmingham or Mobile. Assaults are routine. Armed robberies happen in broad daylight. The police department has been underfunded for decades. But here's the real gut punch. Selma's locals don't just warn each other about danger. They've developed an entire unofficial geography of the town. Streets you don't walk. Blocks you don't drive after 6. Corners where you don't make eye contact. Visitors who stop for gas are told politely but firmly, get what you need and leave. That's not rudeness. That's love. They're trying to keep you alive. Number 4. Park Forest, Illinois. Park Forest looks like the suburbs. Planned neighborhoods. Good schools. A village green. But Park Forest has a problem that doesn't show up in real estate listings. It sits 30 miles south of Chicago, and a significant amount of gang activity has bled out of the city into quiet suburbs like this one. The result is a violent crime rate that's triple the national average for a community its size. Aggravated assaults, home invasions, shootings that happen in parking lots of chain grocery stores. And the warning from locals isn't whispered. It's posted on community Facebook pages every single week. Don't stop at the gas station on Western after 9. Don't leave your car running at the mobile station. If you see a group of teenagers near the park after dark, drive away. This is a suburb with a suburban police force, and they are outmatched. Number 3. Tuba City, Arizona. Tuba City is on the Navajo Nation. It's remote. It's beautiful. And it is one of the most under-policed communities in the country. The violent crime rate here doesn't just beat the national average. It doubles it, triples it in certain categories. Sexual assault rates are particularly devastating. Domestic violence is endemic. But here's the part that breaks your heart. Most of these crimes go unreported. Not because people don't care, because they don't trust the system. Jurisdictional confusion between tribal, federal, and state authorities means that many victims never see justice. And that silence becomes permission. Locals have a warning that sounds almost gentle if you don't know what it means. Don't walk alone after dark. Don't hitchhike anywhere near town. Don't stop at the rest area past the high school. These aren't abstract fears. They are carved from decades of lived experience. Number 2. Kingsport, Tennessee. Kingsport is part of the Tri-Cities region. It's at a hospital, a downtown, a sense of normalcy. But Kingsport also has a violent crime rate that has climbed 40% in just 5 years. The reason is a perfect storm. Interstate 81 funnels drug trafficking through the area. Economic decline has hollowed out working-class neighborhoods, and the police department has struggled to keep up. Aggravated assaults happen almost daily. Robberies at gas stations and convenience stores are routine. But the warning from locals is what really stands out. They don't say avoid the south side or stay away from the projects. They say something stranger. If you have to stop in Kingsport, don't use a credit card at the pump. Because the violence isn't just physical. It's opportunistic. People watch. People wait. And people have learned that being seen fumbling with your wallet makes you a target. Number 1. Walterboro, South Carolina. Walterboro looks safer than Disneyland. I'm serious. Tree-lined streets. A historic courthouse. Antique shops. Friendly smiles. But Walterboro has a secret that the data eventually reveals. Its violent crime rate per capita ranks among the highest in the nation for any town under 10,000 people. And here's the part that should terrify you. Walterboro barely reports crime at all. What do I mean? Many small towns with high violence have no choice but to report because victims call ambulances, hospitals file reports, bodies go to coroners. But Walterboro has developed an informal system of handling things quietly. Disputes settled off the books. Injuries explained away. Cases that never make it to the state database. So the official numbers look bad. But the real numbers? The ones locals whisper about? They are much, much worse. The warning in Walterboro isn't written on a sign. It's passed from driver to driver at the last gas stop 30 miles away. Don't pull off in Walterboro. Not for gas. Not for food. Not for anything. Keep driving until the lights are behind you. That's not paranoia. That's survival. So here's the truth that nobody puts on a tourism website. Danger doesn't always live in a high-rise or a housing project. Sometimes it lives on a quiet main street. Sometimes it waves at you from a porch. And sometimes the most violent place in America looks exactly like a town you'd never think twice about driving through. Until someone tells you otherwise. Drive safe. Stay aware. And if the gas light comes on near any of these towns, keep rolling. You'll make it to the next one.